Alright, now peoples, we're going to start at 1:30. So up first we have Andrew Manyika. He is a Zimbabwean writer, poet, and comedian based in Johannesburg, South Africa. Johannesburg. He has performed at the World and Sound International Festival, been selected to Manyika Festival, and was a producer of the inaugural Slam of Your Life, which is now an annual production at the National Arts Festival in Grahamstown. Andrew has written and commissioned poetry, performed art, and among other events, the TEDx Johannesburg in Zimbabwe? Poetry Festival, and the Ahera International Festival of the Arts, or HIFA. He has shared stages with the leading poets and comedians from both Africa and abroad, including Lebo Machel, Buddy Wakefield, and Joshua Bennett. Please welcome Mr. Andrew.
Okay, there we go. Right, so because I'm so shy, I need a lot of moral support. So at the end of every poem, I'm going to need you to clap just so that I know that we're rolling together. Okay, so we're going to start practicing right now with a little energy exercise. So I'm going to start by clapping, and then the people in the front row are going to clap, and then it's going to spread like a wildfire. So are you ready? Yes. Okay, cool. So here goes. I have to brace myself. Okay. And we're going. I'm going to do it. I always wanted to do that. Okay. How's everybody doing? That's great. That's fantastic. So, I dropped my so much. Give to my father. He would not be happy about that. All right. So, poet from Zimbabwe, sometimes South Africa, and I'm going to do some poems for you. I'm a slam champion, so some of the poems are very much performance-oriented. Some of them I will read. This first one is called "Make Up Your Mind." It's a fictional tale based on a conversation between a man and a woman about to go out for the evening. You know it's fiction because in this story, he's ready first and she's not yet. In real life, women are always ready on time. So, she says, "How come you never take off your ties?" I said, "Because you never take off your lies. Wake up, you're fine. You only need to make up your mind." She says, "I get that you're the poet here, but allow me to break down my make-up philosophy. You see, I wear it because being colorless means being plain old black and white. And those two extremes are simply too extreme for me. So why don't you, Mr. Poet, tell me something philosophical about looks?" I told her, "Look, if it's philosophy you want, you should really be about books. But okay, I'll buy it. For me, it seems pretty apparent that to you, colorless really means transparent. The more than a disdain for being plain behind color, you seem to find a cloak for your pain." She says nothing to object, but allows me to stand there and witness her process. So she stands on the foundation of the sculpture that she's making to base herself on it. A little embarrassed that I can see all this, she brushes her cheeks with blushes. She's sweet, but even in this she lacks honesty because her blush is paradoxically some permanent shade of 12-hour modesty. Unburdening herself of the epiphany she keeps in the bags under her eyes lay shadow, like she's hiding the light of her soul behind thunderous skies. And then she grabs that pencil and lines them up to that ideal image in her mind she struck, and the lengthened lashes of her mascara help her to ignore the mass scarring of her soul. So that off the top of her head she's retelling her tale, but it's just starring the highlights. Her red lips stick together as though joined in agreement that they'll never spill the secret of who she really is. She forgot the concealer, but at this point doesn't really see the need. So, nearly ready to leave, but now like she's looking for lost change, she's rummaging through her brassiere, searching for leverage against the world, and settles on her cleavage, finding the idea most strange that someone might cleave to her without it. So that even while her push-up bra buoys her memory glands, my memory hands me images of a time when she was as simple to read as black ink on white paper. A picture whose texture had a uniform feel, but she's pushed up out of my reach now on a platform heel. She's done. She's made up a fairy tale. And this construct of her imagination says, "Tell me I'm beautiful." To which I respond, if the eyes are the window to the soul, then I am a disappointed peeping Tom, because I have been keeping warm off the heat yours generates like a supernova's best, and they return to tell you that you, man, you with your slightly colored contact lenses have a soul which is overdressed. But you're beautiful, and have been so from the beginning. Not the first time a man told you how deep his desire was to hold you, but the very beginning. Not when your body first faded from prepubescence to adolescence and time taught you to feed new essence, but the very beginning, when you, and I know that it's odd, my dear, but it goes back to when you were truer than Athena springing from Zeus's head. You were God's idea. Wow. A prime example of his penmanship. A poem pitted to parade his workmanship. And as you go through the motions from fetal position to fatal position, your entire biography has been written in the flawless tip of his endless calligraphy. That's your spirit, the mind you taint, and the body you paint. So wake up, you're fine. You only need to make up your mind. So you're saying I should take it off? No, keep the colors, I like them. I'm saying that the human vessel is inherently imperfect, so that maybe she's born with it, maybe you need to take care. Love the skin you're in, you're both worth it. As long as the option is open and the potion is potent, sip slow. But when the years make their mark, don't let it break your heart, just say amen to the omens. But if you insist on battling these 7 signs of aging, please remember the time lining your face is only making your story more worth the paging. That crow's feet and laughter lines are in the nature of a human being, and they only serve as evidence that you have lived, that you have breathed, that you have been. Tell me I'm beautiful, she asks. I wish she understood that she's amazing with or without the masks, that there's nothing I can add to or take from it. What is your problem with it, she finally spurts? Well, it's not the makeup I mind. It's just alarming to find that many who wear it are blind to the fact that that which has the power to attract lies not in the face, but the makeup of the mind. You see, beauty is an altar before which we all go, but as you approach its throne, bring small sacrifices. Change your face, but don't alter your ego. And when you wake up, you'll find you only need to make up your mind. Thank you. From the length of these poems that I'm going to need every second of that grace period that Stan spoke about. All right, this one is called Trajectory of a Tear because sometimes, your makeup runs and it with mascara. So, Trajectory of a Teardrop, the idea, what if we cry from our hearts and it builds its way up? Flooding of emotions tugging at the heartstrings, bringing curiosity to the things within the bloodstreams. Open eyes slit beams of light through the tear duct. In the slipstream tonight with gear stuck, ascends a solitary drop towards a solitary top, as it is battling through the space-time continuum, straddling this fine line continuing to ascend against gravity, gravitating towards the source of the siphon in the duct. It arrives but doesn't violently erupt, but on reaching the peak, it's tweaking the eyelids, keeping them open, peeking over, blurry, sweeping views. As it peeks closer, the eyelid closes. Then it's downhill from here, skirting slippery facial ski slopes, leaving a trail, becoming dismembered, as if to say, don't fail to remember me. Becoming smaller with the loss of each precious piece, it reaches the precipice, where it is catching the light and forcing it to dance with it. Then it trembles, then it tumbles, then it is hurtling towards the earth, glistening, looking forward to rebirth, but on impact, when listening, hears only the sound of more flooding. Thank you. And now for the poetry reading. So here's a poem that my dad likes, but that I'm still trying to make up my mind about, but I like him, so I do it for him. They said Tonde died. They told me Tonde died, but of course they were lying. I mean, they had to be lying, hadn't they? What did they know of Tonde with their fur coats and their top hats, the things we could only aspire to? What did they mean when they said that he died in the arms of a harlot? The man they described to me is not my Tonde, not my brother, my mother's son, not the apple of my father's eye. My Tonde loved life, and he was her own beloved. So how can they, with their well-meaning glances, hiding contempt, how can they claim he fell victim to the white powder? They didn't know him. He would never. He was life's beloved. Oh, Tonde, where are you? Come hear what they say about you. What has life done to you? Has she betrayed you to death? They tell me that you are dead, but in my heart of hearts, I know it isn't so. Won't you come to me now?